Hi everyone, my name is Rabi, but you can call me Mira because everyone calls me Mira. Fun fact, Amira is my name, but because they have a Korean name called Mira, I decided to pick it as my Korean name, so that's the fun fact about my name. Today I'm going to be doing a video that is going to be like a guide for beginners of Korean language. I remember like when I started learning the language, how nerve-wracking it was. I felt like it was an impossible task, and I promise you it's a long journey. It's a bit difficult, but impossible is one word I will not use to describe it. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can build a strong foundation for your Korean language that is going to help you years down the line. Some of these tips I didn't learn it in the beginning. I had to do it with trial and error, but I hope this video is going to prevent you from making the silly mistakes I made in the past. So enough with the chit chat. I'm just going to get straight on with the video. The first important thing I would tell you is to learn the Korean alphabet. So the Korean alphabet is known as Hangul, and whilst preparing for this video I came across something very interesting. It's a chart I made. This was like I think my second year of learning the Korean language, and this is it. I don't know if it's coming out well on camera. You can see my G-Dragon obsession clearly. I have Konjiyoung here, and this is Saranghae, which means love. In case you don't know, Konjiyoung is G-Dragon's name. So these are all the Korean consonants, and I tried to make it in such a fun and interactive way. So the first important thing you're going to do as a Korean language learner is to learn Hangul. The reason why you should learn Hangul from the get-go is, first of all, it's something that you would eventually need to learn if you need to advance in your Korean studies, so the earlier you do it, the better. It's not as difficult to learn it as well, so don't feel daunted by that. The second thing is, if you don't learn Hangul, you're going to be studying Korean using romanization. So romanization is when you use the Roman characters to learn Korean language, and what that does is it messes up with your pronunciation of Korean words. So I remember when I first started learning Korean, I would watch Korean dramas, hear the words, and then I would just write them down in papers, on a piece of paper, and then I would repeat it to myself. That did not work. Like, my pronunciation was terrible. I would say words and people didn't even know what I was saying, or like it didn't sound like a Korean word. So if you learn Hangul, it forces you to learn how to correctly pronounce all the Korean alphabets, which then helps you to pronounce Korean words easier and better, and then your sentences will sound like a natural, and that's what we're aiming for, right? We're aiming to sound like a natural. Yeah, so first tip, Il or Hana, is learn Hangul. The second tip I'm going to give you today is to learn the Korean grammar. I know like this is something that advanced learners would maybe start off with, but for beginners, the reason why I added this as the second one is I think it's important to start learning the grammar from the get-go, because the longer you keep it, the longer you're going to keep shying away from it, and you are not going to get a lot of progress in your language learning. So if you familiarize yourself with it from the beginning and you're comfortable with it, you don't have to start learning the really advanced grammar. If you check a lot of resources online, you're going to find easy beginner friendly grammar structures and grammar patterns that you can use to practice with. Some resources, one that really helped me in self-studying Korean was Talk to Me in Korean. Another way to practice your grammar is to try and get grammar structures that relate to your daily life. So if you learn it, you then incorporate it into your day-to-day activities, and then you use that as a practice tool for making sure you retain whatever it is you learn. The third point that I think is very important for your language learning skills is speaking Korean. I know that this is one of the most obvious thing because we all start from like watching Korean dramas or like K-pop, so we try the words. But what I've noticed from my experience is when you start learning Korean, you're going to become very shy in speaking Korean. So you can be very good in the classroom, but when it comes to speaking, having the confidence to speak Korean, like it takes a long while to build it. If you're a natural at that, that's good. But for those of us that like are not naturals at that, please, I would advise you start from the get-go. Do not worry about your mistakes. And it's easier to start speaking from the beginning, because at that point everybody knows you're a beginner, so you feel like, well, if I make mistakes they already know that I'm a beginner, so they wouldn't really have expectations. But if you allow it to stay longer, then people expect you to like, well, in your mind you think people expect you to like speak fluently, so if you don't speak fluently they would like make jest of it, or they would look down on you or something. But if you start from the beginning, then you don't have to worry about that. So this was a lesson that it took me a very long time to learn, because I thought people had expectations of my Korean speaking skills and all of that. But as like someone advised me, actually I'll share that advice with you, and she was like a language exchange partner that I had, and she told me that the problem I have that she has noticed with my Korean is I try so hard to use big words when I'm trying to speak Korean, when the expectation is for me to just use simple grammatical structures, simple words, simple sentences, and break down my sentences. Because even if I break down my sentences, it doesn't mean that the meaning is going to go away. So by making my sentence complicated, I stress myself out, and then I end up not even being able to communicate well. So if you break down your sentences like into smaller chunks, and then also don't expect people to like start thinking you're at topic level 6 when you're at topic level 2 like in real life. So don't stress yourself, just speak, have fun, like, you know, rap along to like RM when he's singing, you know, BTS ARMY and also you know, like follow the lyrics when they're singing your favorite songs. You know, when you feel that confidence, just speak and try and use words that you pick up in drama or in music videos or in music. Just try and pick up words from drama and then incorporate it into your daily lives. And when I started learning Korean, guys, I didn't have anyone to learn Korean with. My friends were not really into it, but now I have friends that like Korean culture. So just, if you have a friend that is learning Korean, just meet them, you know, try and speak in Korean. Just chill and make it like fun and exciting for yourself, because the more you stress yourself up about it, you're not going to start speaking Korean anytime soon, and that's not what we want. So I think my point number 3, actually we've done number 2. So the first one is learn Hangul, the second one is learn your grammar structures, and the third one is speak and speak some more. 말씀해 주세요. 한국말 말씀해 주세요, 여러분. Okay, so we're going to move on to point number 4. Okay, point number 4 is a very fun one. I know a lot of us watch Korean dramas and a lot of us listen to Korean music videos, but one piece of content that you like usually overlook and that is very important in your language learning process, well, I think it's important, is watching cartoons. Now, hear me out. There's a logic behind this, and I'm not talking about like adult level cartoon. I'm talking about cartoon for kindergarten students, like for children. The reason why it's important to incorporate that into your language learning skill is that the grammar and the vocabulary that is being used in cartoon is geared towards small children, and it is expected that small children are still learning Korean. So it's a bit more elementary, and it would help you to be able to pick up on things easier. And to be honest, if you're learning a new language, you're at elementary level, so it's elementary level content that you should be consuming as well in your like language study. So it would help you a lot. And one very exciting cartoon that I like is called Pororo on YouTube. You can find Pororo in English and Pororo in Korean. Talking about Korean here, so try and find the Pororo videos in Korean on YouTube, and that would help to guide your like learning experience. It's a very chill way, actually. You can just play it in the background, chill way to like pick up on new words, new grammar structures, new sentence structures, and just, you know, enjoy your Korean as well. Like, because if you start picking up on words they're saying, it boosts your confidence into thinking, oh, actually I'm learning Korean and I'm understanding Korean, so that's really nice. So I think you should incorporate that into your language learning. Another advice is, if you have if you have access to Korean dramas where there are like kid actors in it, so I mean child actors, like maybe there's a very interesting one called Aiga Dasot, I think. So there's 5 children and there are lots of kids in that drama. So you notice that the vocabulary or the way the kids talk to the adults is kind of elementary as well, so you pick up on things. But this is all to do with your listening skills, and you have to train your mind and to be able to pick up on things really fast. So the best way is by practicing your listening skills, because Korean is not just about speaking. You need to converse with someone and you have to learn to start listening and picking up on words and familiarizing your mind as well with the way words sound. So even if you learn Hangul, then this would help you to learn how to properly pronounce like what you're learning, because like I said, it's not like we have access to a lot of Korean people around us, so this would really help you. Okay, so the final point I'm going to be making today is about vocabulary. So we spoke about grammar, we spoke about speaking, we spoke about listening. So this is going to focus more on reading. And what I try to do is, well, I don't do that anymore, but what I used to do, which really helped me, was I would get post-it notes and then I would write names of things around my room, maybe the furniture, like the bedding, or like just little knickknacks here and there, in Korean and in English. Sometimes I would write it like in Korean and then English at the bottom. I'll write it in Korean and then English at the back. So this helps me to like build on my vocabulary and my reading skills. So I would just paste it all around my room. So it could be like the name of the wall, the name of like my bed, like chimde, the name of my table, like lamp, or like whatever it is around the room. You can just paste it all around. If you share a room with someone, just beg them to like allow you to do it for a bit. You can try and do it on smaller items as well, maybe the name of a pencil, like just little things around your house that you can paste, maybe the name of like your kitchen bowl, like a broom or something like that. And this would help you to learn everyday vocabulary that you would need around the house. If you want to like take this a bit further, or if you don't have access to doing what I just described, you can get apps like Quizlet or Memrise that helps you to like build a vocabulary bank that you can use to quiz yourself. And then you know, when you learn a new word, just add it to Quizlet or Memrise and you can use it as a way to remember vocabulary easier. If you don't have access to any of these, go old school and write it on pen and paper. So just make a list of all the new words that you learn with their definition, and then quiz yourself maybe once a month or once a week, or however often you can do it. And hopefully this guide will help you to improve on your Korean skills. My Korean, I don't know if I would say is intermediate level, but I think like doing all of this helped me to become not like a basic elementary learner, but maybe like basic intermediate learner, if that's a way to put it. I hope this video was enjoyable to you guys. 여러분 다음에 또 봐요. 안녕. Bye. See you next time, guys. And please stay tuned to our Hallyu Creator videos. I hope you enjoy it. Bye.